What if love, as we've been taught to believe, is an illusion so alluring that we mistake it for truth? What if the soft whispers of romance, the trembling promises of forever, and the yearning to merge our souls into one are not the summit of devotion, but shadows dancing on the wall of a cave we have yet to leave? We are told that love will complete us, that love is safety, that love is the soothing balm for all the wounds life has carved into our flesh. But Carl Jung, the Swiss psychoanalyst who dared to descend into the underworld of the human psyche, saw love as something far more dangerous and far more sacred. To him, love was not comfort, nor sentiment, nor the merging of halves into a single whole. It was a fire, an alchemical furnace where the dross of our illusions is burned away, leaving only the gold of our true selves. He wrote, "The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed." Do we really seek another person, or do we seek a mirror in which to glimpse ourselves? Do we crave love because we wish to know another, or because we are terrified of facing the abyss alone? These questions haunt me. They should haunt you too. For in the quiet hours of night, when the masks fall and the silence stretches out like a dark ocean, we know that love is not simply a sweetness we sip like honey. It is an ordeal, a pilgrimage, a crucible in which we are tested, refined, and if we dare to endure, reborn. So let us walk together into the territory Jung charted for us. Let us trace the 7 signs that mark the contours of true love. Not the love of fairy tales, but the love that demands we stand naked before our own soul. Shall we turn to the first sign? Love is not possessive. There is a kind of love that clings as ivy clings to stone, entwining itself so tightly that it strangles the very thing it professes to cherish. Many confuse this strangling for devotion. They call it loyalty. They call it passion. They whisper, "I love you," when what they truly mean is, "I cannot exist without owning you." But true love, as Jung understood it, does not imprison. It does not fold its wings around the beloved and close the cage door. Rather, it opens its hands. It says, "Fly. And should you choose to return, let it be because you are free." Jung saw that what we often name love is, in truth, projection, a desperate casting outward of our own unmet needs, our childhood wounds, our silent terrors of abandonment. The lover becomes the vessel into which we pour our fears and hopes. Possessiveness, then, is not born of abundance, but of lack. It does not speak the language of freedom, but of fear. Consider the partner who must always know where you are, who interrogates your silences, who sees in every distance a threat. Their love may burn brightly, but it leaves you breathless, shrinking, unseen. It demands proof, constant reassurance, a toll paid in fragments of your soul. And yet they call it love. But true love refuses to suffocate. It stands back, even when it aches to hold tight. It understands that to love is not to own, but to behold. It knows that a bond forged in freedom is stronger than one forged in chains. Jung wrote, "Where love reigns, there is no will to power, and where power predominates, there love is lacking." To love is not to conquer, nor to subsume, but to witness another's becoming. To stand as both companion and silent witness as the beloved unfolds into who they are meant to be. So I ask you, is your love a cage, or is it a sanctuary? Does it demand, or does it invite? Are you holding on because you fear losing, or are you holding space because you trust? The second sign awaits. You accept their shadow. To love only the light in another is to love a mirage. It is to clasp your hands around an illusion, mistaking the polished surface for the substance beneath. We are taught from childhood to seek perfection, to find someone who is gentle, joyful, constant, always radiant with kindness. But Carl Jung warned that perfection is a mask, and behind the mask waits the shadow. The shadow is all we do not wish to see in ourselves, our envy, our rage, our hidden desires, our secret wounds. It is the sum of our repressed truths, the locked chambers of the psyche where we have hidden both our darkness and, often, our brightest unlived potential. Jung wrote, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." And so it is in love. For what is intimacy if not the courage to stand before another and reveal not merely your virtues but your flaws? In the beginning, we fall for projections. We crown our beloved with qualities drawn from our own unconscious. The hero who will rescue us, the goddess who will redeem us. But these are phantoms. Inevitably, the mask cracks. The lover's laughter grows brittle, their tenderness falters, their wounds emerge. And in that moment, the real question is asked, can you love them still? Imagine a partner who trembles with insecurity, who lashes out in fear, who carries shame like a hidden scar. Do you recoil, seeing only disappointment? Or do you remain not to save them, but to witness them, whole, flawed, human? This is the crucible of true love. It is not a pact to overlook darkness, nor to endure harm. It is the willingness to hold space for the other's humanity, to say, I see you, even this part, and I do not turn away. To love someone's shadow is not to excuse cruelty or accept abuse. It is to understand that every wound speaks a history. Every eruption of anger conceals a silent terror. Every withdrawn silence hides a story. Love listens for those stories. It holds them gently like fragile relics unearthed from deep soil. And you, do you seek only the golden light, or can you sit with your beloved's storms? Can you see their shadow not as proof they are unworthy, but as the hidden soil from which something new might grow? Because in that soil, beneath fear and shame, lies the possibility of transformation, for them and for you. Shall we walk onward? True love does not ask you to remain the same. The world often whispers to us that love should be gentle, comforting, a harbor from the winds of change. Yet Carl Jung knew otherwise. He saw love as a mirror in which we glimpse not only our face, but the face we have not yet dared to become. Individuation, the journey toward wholeness, is the central path of Jung's psychology. And love, at its highest, is one of its greatest catalysts. It does not simply soothe your wounds, it reveals them. It does not preserve the self you have carefully constructed, it beckons forth the self still waiting in the shadows. Think of the man who dreams of painting, but has buried his brushes beneath decades of responsibility. His partner, seeing the quiet ache in his eyes, places a blank canvas before him and says, "Paint." Or the woman who has lived her life in silence, trained to be agreeable, whose partner one day asks, "What is your truth? What is your fury? Speak." Such moments are small revolutions. They tear open the veil of habit and invite us into new territory. Yet they are not always comfortable. To be loved by someone who truly sees you means to be seen even in those places you would rather keep hidden. It means having your illusions stripped away, your excuses challenged, your complacency disturbed. Jung wrote, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." And love, real love, insists upon this privilege. It does not allow you to remain stagnant. It pushes you toward the edges of your own potential. It urges you to claim your voice, your art, your power, not for its own sake, but because your soul demands it. This love is neither soft nor cruel. It is tender but unsparing. It says, "I will not let you diminish yourself. I will not let you hide. I will not let you pretend you are less than what you are." Consider the partner who challenges you when you speak self-contempt, who refuses to collude in your smallness, who in moments of doubt whispers, "You are capable of more." Such a partner is not an enemy of your comfort. They are an ally of your becoming. And so I ask you, does your love keep you safely where you've always been? Or does it set a flame in your chest, daring you to grow? For true love does not demand that you stay the same. It demands that you become. Shall we continue? The fourth sign awaits. It's more than just passion. At first, love erupts like a storm. Eyes meet across a room, and the world seems charged with a sudden electricity. Your skin feels alive, your heart pounds, and every glance carries the weight of secret destinies. You call it chemistry, fate, a soul connection that feels carved into the stars. But Carl Jung cautioned that what we often call destiny is sometimes a projection. We do not fall in love with the person themselves, but with an image, a luminous reflection of something lost or hidden within our own soul. Jung named these inner figures the Anima and the Animus. The Anima is the inner feminine in a man's psyche, an embodiment of intuition, emotion, mystery. The Animus is the inner masculine in a woman's psyche, speaking with the voice of logic, courage, and conviction. These figures are ancient, woven into the fabric of the collective unconscious. And when we meet someone who resembles our inner archetype, we feel as though we have encountered a missing piece of our own soul. But this is the peril of projection. For in the glow of infatuation, we see not the person before us, but our own unlived possibilities. She becomes the muse who will rescue us from emptiness, He becomes the hero who will lift us into significance. And while these visions are beautiful, they are not yet love. They are dreams. Jung wrote, "The most intense conflicts, if overcome, leave behind a sense of security and calm that is not easily disturbed. It is just these intense conflicts and their conflagration which are needed to produce valuable and lasting results." True love is born not in the furnace of projection, but in the quiet aftermath when illusions fall away and two human beings remain, flawed and real. Consider the moment when passion's fire cools and you see your partner as they truly are, imperfect, complex, carrying wounds you never knew existed. The question then becomes, do you love them still? Once the archetype fades, can you hold their gaze without the filter of fantasy? Real love does not reject passion, it honors it. But it also survives the death of illusions. It endures in the soft, mundane rituals of life. Conversations in quiet rooms, shared glances over unremarkable meals, the silent understanding in the midst of hardship. It grows roots deep into the soil of reality. So I ask you, is your love sustained only by the thrill of the chase, the intoxication of the new? Or does it endure when the dream dissolves, when your partner stands before you, simply human? Because true love is not merely passion, it is presence. Shall we move forward? You feel whole, not incomplete. We live in a culture obsessed with haves seeking wholes. We are told that somewhere out there is the one person who will complete us, heal our wounds, quiet our fears, and make us finally, irrevocably happy. It is a myth so alluring that we chase it across years, across continents, across countless heartbreaks. And yet Carl Jung saw this myth for what it is, a dangerous illusion. He wrote, "The greatest tragedy of the family is the unlived lives of the parents." This tragedy extends into love, for when we seek another to complete us, we burden them with the weight of our unlived life. We ask them to become not a partner, but a savior. True love does not come from emptiness. It arises from two souls who have begun the lifelong work of individuation, the process of becoming whole within themselves. Not perfect, but whole. Individuals who have faced their own shadows, claimed their own desires, and learned to sit in the silence of their own company without terror. Imagine two people, each standing firmly on their own ground. They do not need one another to fill a void, to silence an inner ache, or to serve as a distraction from loneliness. When they come together, it is not out of necessity but out of freedom. Their love is a gift, not a transaction. An offering, not a demand. Such love is powerful because it is not born of desperation. It can tolerate distance without fear. It can navigate conflict without collapse. It can allow each person to pursue their own growth without suspicion or resentment. And in this spaciousness, intimacy flourishes. Think of the partner who encourages your solitude, who knows that time alone does not signal rejection. Or the partner who celebrates your successes without feeling diminished. Or the partner who can disagree with you fiercely and yet never withdraw their presence. This is the dance of two whole beings orbiting one another without collision. Jung warned that to project our unlived self onto a partner is to imprison them in an impossible role. We ask them to be perfect, to embody every facet of our own neglected soul, and inevitably we grow resentful when they fail. For no human can carry the burden of another's incompleteness. So I ask you, do you love your partner, or do you need them to fill what you have not yet filled within yourself? Does your relationship liberate you, or does it bind you in silent dependency? True love does not complete you. It reveals that you were whole all along. Shall we explore the next sign? Love has a spiritual dimension. There are moments in love when time seems to dissolve, when a single glance feels older than your bones, when a touch echoes across lifetimes you cannot name. In those moments, love becomes something more than psychological. It becomes numinous, a window through which eternity peers into the mortal world. Carl Jung understood this dimension well. For him, love was not only a bond between two individuals, it was an archetypal force, vast and ancient, woven into the pattern of existence itself. He spoke of the hieros gamos, the sacred marriage, not merely as a ritual between man and woman, but as a symbol of the union of opposites within the psyche, conscious and unconscious, masculine and feminine, known and unknown. When you fall in love, you are sometimes swept into this archetypal current. You experience synchronicities, meaningful coincidences that whisper of hidden order. You discover uncanny parallels in your histories, mirrored wounds, dreams that seem to speak a shared language. These are not random. Jung called them signposts of individuation, clues that the soul is moving toward wholeness. But the sacred dimension of love does not reside only in the extraordinary. It dwells in the ordinary moments sanctified by presence. Quiet laughter over coffee, the hush of breathing in the dark, the way your partner's eyes soften when they glimpse your vulnerability. It is here, in these gentle spaces, that the divine makes itself known. Jung warned that the numinous can also intoxicate. When we mistake spiritual connection for personal salvation, we risk inflating love into an idol. True sacred love remains grounded. It does not float off into fantasies of perfection. It honors mystery, but it also honors truth. Consider the couple who prays together, not necessarily with words but with silence, who regards each conflict as an initiation rather than a curse, who speaks not only of plans and duties, but of meaning, symbols, and the soul's calling. Their love becomes a temple, a place where the sacred enters the mundane. So I ask you, does your love lift your spirit beyond the boundaries of the self? Does it remind you that you are part of something vast and hidden? Does it awaken in you a reverence for life itself? For true love has a spiritual dimension, a silent knowing that beneath flesh and words, two souls have recognized each other as pilgrims on the same sacred road. Shall we turn now to the seventh and final sign? True love challenges you. Many of us enter love seeking comfort. We long for safety, for arms that will hold us against the storms of the world, and indeed love can be sanctuary. But Carl Jung knew that love at its deepest is not merely shelter. It is also provocation. It is the mirror held up to our hidden face. It is the crucible in which we are transformed. He wrote, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves." This is the paradox of intimacy. The closer we draw to another, the more fiercely our own unconscious rises to the surface. Our partner becomes the trigger for forgotten wounds, the spark that ignites buried fears. It is not because they are cruel. It is because love dissolves the barriers we so carefully erect around our vulnerable hearts. Consider the man who in childhood was unseen and unheard. In adulthood, he grows furious when his partner seems distracted, interpreting silence as abandonment. Or the woman who learned that love meant sacrifice, who now cannot speak her desires for fear of losing affection. These are not petty conflicts. They are eruptions of the soul's deeper history. True love does not flee from these moments. It steps closer. It asks, what is this pain speaking? What old story is being replayed here? It recognizes that relationship is a crucible of individuation. In the heat of conflict, false selves burn away, leaving something pure behind. This is not to say that love is endless struggle. Rather, it is the willingness to remain present when the shadows emerge. To see conflict not as a sign that love is dying, but as proof that love is real enough to disturb the comfortable masks we wear. Imagine the partner who, when hurt, does not retaliate, but instead says, "Help me understand." Or the couple who pauses in the midst of argument to ask, "What wound is this touching in me?" Such moments transform relationships from battlegrounds into temples of mutual awakening. Jung believed that the partner is often the mirror of our unfinished work. They reflect back to us the qualities we have disowned. They provoke us so that we might grow. And so the question is not whether love will challenge you. It will. The question is whether you will accept the challenge. So I ask you, does your love soothe you into complacency, or does it call you into the fire? When conflict arises, do you retreat, or do you stay and seek understanding? Do you see your partner as an adversary or as an ally in your own unfolding? For true love does not leave you as it found you. It demands that you become more than you thought possible. And now, the path draws toward its end. Let us close this pilgrimage together. So we arrive at the end of this path, though in truth the journey has no end. For love, as Carl Jung knew, is not a destination but a pilgrimage, a winding road upon which we are summoned to meet both the other and ourselves. We have traced 7 signs of true love. 7 flames burning in the darkness, each illuminating a truth both beautiful and demanding. A love that is not possessive, but liberates. A love that accepts the shadow, knowing that darkness is not an enemy, but a hidden door. A love that refuses to let you remain the same, but calls forth your becoming. A love that transcends mere passion, surviving the collapse of illusion. A love that flows not from incompleteness, but from the wholeness of two souls who choose each other freely. A love that opens a doorway to the sacred, where the mundane becomes a vessel of the divine. A love that challenges you, not to punish, but to awaken the deeper truths hidden in your own heart. These are not simply signs to be checked off a list. They are invitations, mirrors, trials. They ask you to look inward and ask, is my love rooted in fear or in freedom? Do I seek to merge or to witness? Do I run from conflict or walk into the fire of transformation? Jung wrote, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." And perhaps nowhere is this more true than in love. The lovers we choose, the battles we fight, the tenderness we give and withhold, all of these are woven from the fabric of our own unconscious depths. To love truly is to bring these depths into the light, to wrestle with our projections, to stand bare and unmasked. For love, in the Jungian sense, is nothing less than a crucible for individuation. It is the sacred laboratory in which we are dissolved, purified, and recombined into something truer than we were before. It is the place where our soul is both wounded and healed, where our illusions die so that reality can breathe. And so I leave you with these questions. Can you love without chains, offering freedom rather than captivity? Can you stand beside another's shadow and not turn away? Can you bear the heat of transformation, allowing love to change you? Can you see beyond the fire of passion into the quiet glow of presence? Can you bring your wholeness rather than your hunger? Can you let love be both human and sacred, flesh and spirit? Can you remain, even when challenged, willing to become who you were always meant to be? Because true love is not the end of the story. It is the beginning. It is the call to step out of the dream and into the real. To see not just your partner, but yourself, reflected back from eyes that ask, who are you truly, and who are you still becoming? May you walk this path with open eyes. May your love set you free, and may it lead you ever deeper into the mystery of who you are.